Good afternoon, Professor and TAs. As I said in my message to you, I was unable to conduct the personal evaluation due to compatibility issues with Unity. Unity does not run on Ubuntu, which is the operating system that I use usually on my on my laptop. So I downloaded Windows, the Windows operating system ISO, and I configured it with VirtualBox, and ended up spending most of my time trying to get Unity to run on that. Then I came across this post actually. Um, this post actually. When I realized that it just wasn't going to happen. Unity wouldn't work with VirtualBox either. So um, that that really just forced me to scale back my project and only include a personal and research-based evaluation for Maya and Blender, but only a research-based evaluation for Unity versus the Android SDK. But now, um, for my models, or for making the models rather, my results show that Maya was the best choice. So that's what you see right here. This is my recreated model of an atom. I had to recreate one because the last model that I used was on a computer that I had access to over spring break, and I no longer do now. So this is the finished model in Maya. This is the Maya um, software right now that I'm using, and I guess I'll go over very quickly how I made these models. The first thing I started out with was I used this sphere template that's right up here in the top right hand corner, or the top left hand corner, sorry. Doing that, I was able to, sorry, okay. Using this sphere, I was able to shape a nucleus by copying it. All I need to do to copy is press Control D, and then basically just shaping it out into the nucleus that I wanted it to be, and I rotate it using this cube in the in the top right corner of the panel. As you can see, the whole process is pretty straightforward, pretty easy to use, and that's how the nucleus was done. Anyway, now to move forward in doing these little rings, it was a bit more involved, but it wasn't anything too complicated. I used a cylinder as my base shape. Let's move that up here. And basically, all I did was I flattened it. So I went to this left panel and used the resize option, and I flattened it in the x-axis direction. So I used the x-axis controller and I flattened it until it was very, very, very thin. And then once I did that, I was able to, let's get better zoom over here. Once I did that, I was able to select specific parts of the object that I'm manipulating. Not only does Maya allow me to manipulate the size and the characteristics of the whole object. It also lets me manipulate specific sections of the object. So now I'm gonna specify that I want to control faces. And now as you can see, it no longer um, it no longer selects a whole object. It just lets me select individual faces of that object. So now what I'm going to do is select all of these faces, and the way that I'm selecting all of them at the same time is that I'm holding down the shift key as I select the faces. And now that they're all selected, I can press delete. I'll do the same thing with I'll do the same thing with the bottom faces. Delete. And then I would do the same thing with these faces right here, the ones in the middle that denoted the middle of the sorry, the middle of the cylinder. And here we are. That's how I made the orbitals, quote unquote, for the electrons. And then of course the actual electrons, I used spheres for those as well. And that's really all there was to it to make the model. Now, in a case where I would have all the software that I needed, when I'm done with my model, I would just name and save the model in the expected way. Save scene and now I would just as I named it before, it was atom.mb. MB is the file format that Maya saves in. So I would just save it. I would press save as. Since it's already saved, I'll just press cancel. And now usually I would move to Unity to here we go. I would move to Unity to import the object, but as you can see, when I try to do that, it doesn't let me. And because of that, yeah, I failed to initialize Unity graphics. It won't let me on the VirtualBox. So instead, I will have to rely on my online resources. So let's move out of VirtualBox and back to my regular desktop. Okay, so in the case that I did have Unity, and it worked on my computer, I would import the assets, and I would do that just by moving my file into the assets folder, where I could, you know, go from there and use the model that I have. Um, Unity expects a format of FDX, and Maya saves in an MB format. So I would have to make the file conversion, and I could choose to do the conversion myself, or I could just let Unity handle it automatically during importation. And the the language I would be using would be C sharp, but um, Unity also supports JavaScript and another language called Boo. This Unity manual was actually a very good source of information. Here we see information about the animation controllers. As you can see, various states of the object or animation correspond to um, uh, the different animation controllers. And basically, Unity allows the developer to make a sort of finite state machine out of these controllers in order to manage the animations. And the Unity documentation also handles or offers information about the graphics, the physics of the world, the scripting, the different scripting languages, and just helpful tips on how to go about that. And also, I found that Stack Overflow was also a great source of. Here we go. Well, it, all I was going to show about this was some scripting examples, but they're not very necessary. Stack Overflow has also proven to be a great online resource. It's a great community on Stack Overflow, that a community of developers that use Unity and help each other out with it. This one guy in particular was having trouble concerning behavior in his animation that seemed to be an infinite loop. He was having an object collide with another object, and he expected an animation to pop up upon this occurrence. However, that's not what was happening. Instead, the object just kept on continuously jumping, um, and within hours, that the answerer pointed out that the problem was that the original poster had a boolean set called is jumping, and that represented the action status of the object. And the problem was that it was set to true, and he simply wasn't setting it back to false upon colliding with an object. So, um, and this there were sorry, there were many other instances of just developers helping out other Unity developers. So that's probably going forward. Stack Overflow and the Unity manual will probably be my main sources of information. And upon finishing all of that, all of the scripting and animations in Unity, I'll then be able to deploy it to an app or a smartphone where I could use it um, on my cardboard headset. Unfortunately, I was not able to create such a demo, but hopefully things that I looked into for this project will help me moving forward in making my virtual reality education service an actual reality. Thank you.